Saturday marks 1 year since Hurricane Helene caused severe flooding here in our region, and communities are still working to recover. Joining me today is Carter County Mayor Patty Woodby and Highway Superintendent Shannon Burchett. Thank you so much for being here today.
Ainsley, thank you for having us here today.
Yes, thank you.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about how the folks in Carter County are doing as we approach this major milestone when it comes to recovery.
I think there's a lot of positives happening in Carter County. There's been a lot of resilience, a lot of building back, roads, bridges, infrastructure. We're still in the very early timelines of those. Some things are still in their temporary state, but we're just now getting funding to start preparing to put those in their permanent state.
And let's go ahead and talk about kind of where we are when it comes to the recovery process and how much we have left to go.
Well, where we are, we're a year in. The FEMA process is very let me say, loaded down with a lot of bureaucracy. At this point, none of the counties in Northeast Tennessee have received any FEMA funding, so we are still spending out of our general funds to do progress and to do projects. It's a little trying, and the county has been a little frustrated, but we're still pushing to get funding back in. Carter County, for instance, we did have to do a bond and borrow money because the FEMA process takes so long. So we initiated a bond to borrow money so Shannon and his team can go ahead and prepare to start putting roads and bridges back in place.
Yeah, and we'll dig into that in just a minute, but let's go ahead and talk about roads. Where do things stand with you and your department, and what is still being worked on?
We're still working on several roads. Shell Creek's probably our main road we're working on right now. We have it out on contract. It's probably a 60% finished. It still has to have asphalt and some more work done. Hampton Creek and Heaton Creek Road will be let out for contract October the 8th, I think it is. And we've still got two bridges completely out. The Pogey Bridge 1 and 2. Pogey 2 is completed, 100% complete. An engineer should go out for bid the next 2 weeks. Pogey 1 bridge, they had to go back and do a little bit of checking on some of the numbers to make sure it's complete, but it should be finished by this week. Long Holler Bridge, it goes out to October the 14th. The bids will be open on it for the hit to be let out for repair.
I know your crews have been working around the clock for the past year pretty much.
Yeah, we've trying to do a lot of stuff that we can, but we still got the rest of the county to maintain. We still have to mow, patch potholes, and other stuff, and we're kind of short in numbers as far as employees, so it's kind of have to let a lot of it on contract to try to get it done in time. Well,
speaking of the cost of all of this, how much has everything cost so far, and let's talk about where that money's come from.
Well, Carter County initially had around $180 million in infrastructure damage. That included the loss of a high school, the loss of a fire department, roads and bridges, just anything you can think of that the county government would be responsible for, or directly or indirectly helping these entities get back on their feet. Right now, a lot of the money has come from, that we have received in Carter County, has come from the governor and the General Assembly. They have been a true blessing to the counties on the programs that they have put in place to help us get through this process, getting the money that we need to get back into the communities. One of the big funding mechanisms that came into Carter County was, of course, the $20 million that the governor gave us to get Hampton High School fixed and get those children back in. And the timeline for that is still going to be the January timeline to have those kids back in that facility. I just went on Friday and checked that location out and checked with Burleson Construction, and that is still their timeline, and it still looks to happen in January. Elk Mills Volunteer Fire Department, they have currently built, they lost one location, and now they're going to have 3 locations. So in the end, they're going to have fire departments that will better serve the community. As dark as this past year has been, and as dark as September 27th was, there's been a lot of good come out of that. Not just for resilience and the community, being a community, but the actual infrastructure and the actual things that we will have back in the community that will serve the citizens are going to be better. So we're really looking forward to that and what it will bring to Carter County.
And as you've mentioned and we've talked about, there has been so much progress over the last year, but there are some folks and maybe even some businesses that still need some help. What can they do if they need some help, and how can they reach out to those resources?
In Carter County, we had more residential impact than business. And so right now we have the Carter County Long-Term Recovery Group. We also have United Way. And there is still a lot of funding with those two agencies to help citizens in our community. We have $1.5 million from the Governor's Relief and Recovery Fund that's going to the Carter County Long-Term Recovery. So I'm asking citizens to reach out to that group. They can call my office for information, for contact information. There is millions that group in particular has to help our citizens, whether it's mortgage payments, rent payments, furniture purchases, or even fixing some of their homes. And just today, before I left my office, I signed 3 grant contracts to 3 homeowners in Carter County, each at $275,000, and that is to completely rehab their homes. So we have 3 citizens from Roan Mountain who are getting $275,000 for contractors to come in and will completely rehab their homes. So that's just some of the financial help and assistance that's out there, but we do ask citizens if they still have concerns to contact my office, and we are more than happy to direct them to the right routes to where they can get assistance and do the paperwork that's necessary.
All right, well, thank you so much for taking the
Ainsley.
time to be here on First at 4. And with Saturday marking the 1-year anniversary and the mark of Hurricane Helene, we're looking to honor the stories of survivors throughout our region. This Thursday, join us for an exclusive special After Helene, Stories of Strength. That's right here on News Channel 11 and our WJHL Plus streaming app. We're revisiting the communities that were hit the hardest and telling the stories of those impacted 1 year later. That's happening Thursday at 7 p.m.